what you need. Take one from leaking, you to leaking on your feed. You won't skip the feed. You're so fucking nice, you're raising more losses than wins. Nobody is on your side, especially cause no one told you to be quiet. Nobody is on your side. Didn't let you get time, became really fucking juicy. I'm going for it, I'm out and rolling here, being right. You'll come and find in the city. I'm out and rolling to the stars in the sky. Your heart beat like all this shit, and you're always gonna try to win. You can try your best, but I wasn't best. Make it fun of dead relatives. Don't make all the shows that don't waste it, they'll wind up. I saw the YBB. I'm funny as being obsessed, and I can't keep quitting. Oh yeah, show blazing. You have lost the big. You left your head just to make YB. You have lost the big. You make your head just to make YB.
I can pretend a Highlander and look real canny, missing off the rocks. They be acting like you're low rank now, outrank now, outrank now. I can pretend a Highlander and look real canny, missing off the rocks. They be acting like you're low rank now, outrank now, outrank now. Yeah, they said it's filling in for Dodo cause he's scared, so now I'm stuck with you. To replace and show everyone's scared to face my currently. There's no else to use for my nation, you less percentage of that juice you can inhale like your tongue. That'll get you this flag. You needed one more rib that you can not get smacked by every but your version of my chorus is your house of problems. 90s I've been numbers, my number one, let it be known that we need trends after all of us, these two leagues below my own. Your ex I win the fight, easy first time you learn the alphabet cause licking bitch face wasn't enough. Ducksies are rolling church, you're getting trapped about me, calling WWE. Got diva Dutch, I'm coming 80-20, you escape release from horrible senses. I'm going next for dispenser and deadline is still a sucker with dungeon girlfriend obtaining. Your lyrics fell into line up will be my key to proceed. You can keep riding, go and garden, but you will not get me as you see. Highlander, look real candy, missing off the rocks. TV acting like you're low right now, outrank now, outrank now. I can pretend a Highlander, look real candy, missing off the rocks. TV acting like you're low right now, outrank now, outrank now. Yeah, this is one to even matter this battle. You will discount, you'll get back right after you join. Like this is your old account. If you took what's so burden me, but your remix has been leaked. You just guy full of style, but that's till I reach my peak. Bingo, laugh it up. This ain't the first time you served by your kind. He got this trip for selfie, but unlock with Freddy won't unwind. Need a rewind, you just the game, but if I creep rewinds. Man, only 5 just search it the second time you did your kind. Put your fear drops, cause you do it all day one. Women's speed up, beat up all around her. Right now it's you dirt's dog. It ain't equal in dark, see them as all the above. So I'll switch it up, start proceeding for Robbie, sick from the stuff. You're not overrated, cause your lyrics you can't even feel me. I'm humble in our body, you're like you're humble about killing. You're no stuff for sending your fun and servers. Bad, no dispute. So like the Grange, just as the farmer's face. I can pretend a Highlander, look real candy, missing up the rocks. TV acting like you're low right now, outrank now, outrank now. I can pretend a Highlander, look real candy, missing up the rocks. TV acting like you're low right now, outrank now, outrank now. Yeah, yeah, TV acting like you're low right now. Finally, bro, I almost didn't drop this, but you know what? Good thing I did. Good thing I did. I really like this one. Skylands, BGC, shout out guys, we're there for the whole ride. Especially shout out to Rosa, we worked on a Beatbox list together on like a 2 to 4 hour VC, it was awesome. Chris was a mixer, great guy. External Pichu, both contributed with Lords, shout out those guys. That was this matchup, I don't have to do me versus Highlander ever again, hopefully. Oh yeah, Highlander, good game, you did pretty good.
What's good, everybody? Sorry about that. Anyways, so basically, Codemeister versus Highlander. But first, I shaved again. As you can see, I complained in that last episode about not being shaven, so I shaved. I think it was the last episode. Might have been the one before that. Anyway, Mason put a counter, penguin shaving counter, because this is the second time that I've shaved before an episode. We'll keep this going. Sorry about that jump scare again. Here's some Robux to make up for it. Here you guys go. If you can read it. First come, first serve. There you go. Anyway, there was a couple distractions just now. So let's get into Codemeister's up first. He got a lower score than his round one, which is a little unfortunate. I can't say I expected it, but like looking at the scores, it makes sense. I do enjoy Code's round two more, but like categorically, I can see how it ended up this way. Probably because I'm the one who scored it. Anyway, vocals up first, which got a 12 out of 20. So the thing is, the vocals in this beatbox, they're weird. I find myself really mixed on them. I think they're good in some aspects, but they're bad in others. So this beatbox shows a mix of singing and rapping vocals, but I didn't really find Code all that impressive in either aspect. So starting with Code's singing, I think these aren't bad but noticeably problematic. The biggest issue are the actual quality of Code's singing itself, mainly the main vocals, like the main layer. So the biggest issue is Code doesn't have any real emotion in this layer at all, and he sings in a lower octave than he should have, which this really hurts it from matching well with the beat and some of the other layers as well. So this is a big issue. Mainly in the first chorus, but this problem, it does become less relevant later on when more layers get added, but it still remains an issue. Lack of emotion remains relevant for a complaint. For other layers as well, though in some of the harmony layers, this isn't much of a problem, if one at all. I think lack of emotion, however, is a main problem in the main harmony layer. This furtherly hurts the chorus from coming together. Lack of emotion furtherly becomes a problem in the ad-libs, especially the ending. The ending sounds like it's supposed to be this really hyped finisher, but it fails to show this as no strength or emotion in the vocals at all. Another note is to mention Code's vocal range. Not really that crazy either, which is like, that's okay, but like, it does leave more points that you could score there. Anyway, as for what's good with the singing, I think positives mostly come down to the attempt at the harmonies. Because they're good, and they have a pretty good combination of complex notes, and they definitely would have worked out better than they did, and because like, you can hear they come together well, they do. So the execution here isn't really hurt by the harmonies themselves, but the bad delivery of the vocals. Overall, I can say the harmonies are overall good. The background vocals here in this beatbox and the whole thing are also really good, and Code hit some pretty impressive notes there as well. As for rapping vocals, I think these ended up suffering from the same issues at the singing. Code doesn't really show any emotion in his vocals at all, and delivery is super fucking weak. I do think the layering is really good, but it suffers from the same issue. So, overall, it's pretty rough. The ideas are there, and I respect that, but they don't get executed well due to the lack of emotion in his singing, and plus the bad delivery. So, the octave issue was also pretty consistent for the whole song. I do have to say that could be an issue of Code singing just not matching well with the remix, but if that's the case, then don't choose the remix, don't do the song. So, I do think there's a lot to respect, of course, like the impressive notes and the good background vocals as mentioned earlier, and I also think the layering was good enough for me to put this a bit above the middle instead of below, but these are still very problematic. I got a message from Trevor. Y'all, my friend Trevor's coming over. I'm on a time restraint. Lyrics, 12 out of 20. So, this is kind of a mixed category for Code as well. I think it's good in some aspects and bad in others. So, for what's good about it, it mostly comes down to roast, as I think most of the roasts here are pretty good. The roasts are mostly original, and a lot of them are pretty strong too. This carries around for most of the beatbox, and I think his research was pretty good. This isn't to say that these are perfect, though. There's a pretty good amount of roasts that just aren't true or are really grasping at straws. So a big example is the only roast in the chorus. This roast just isn't true and is the only roast in the chorus, which definitely hurts. So overall though, there's a few more examples, but that's the biggest one. Anyway. Overall, I do think these are well done. These were pretty well done, even if a little bit flawed. So I feel pretty much the same way for the writing. Everything is connected together and features wordplay, but the issue is how forced a lot of this is. So sometimes Code does make some pretty good ties and some wordplay with this. Other times he ends up just fucking it up and it means absolutely nothing and it only hurts the bars if anything. There's a lot of examples of this. This is overall mixed, but due to the roast, I feel like I can put this above the middle ground and give it an acceptable score. But both things really just needed a bit of work, honestly. Especially writing. The writing was... Anyway. Beatboxing, 13 out of 20. So, starting with his sounds, Codemeister, he ain't anything too crazy. All he really shows off is his tongue, bass, and basics, and there's also a zipper, but the usage is inconsistent and sometimes sloppy. So, sometimes it's fine, but other times the placement on his lips is improper and it does not make a zipper noise. I think this sound set, as a result, is average for the community. What I can praise is Codemeister has pretty solid combos of these sounds, and he pops out some pretty impressive text sometimes. This is done pretty consistently, but does have some parts where sounds don't come out all the way, most prominently with the zipper, as mentioned earlier. I'm actually gonna, we're gonna go back to old tactics. I did this in the fucking me hall. I'm actually gonna open BandLab real quick because y'all need to hear this. So there is one other sound that I thought was important enough to feature in the video. So, Codemeister, by the way, he has his own beatboxing layer. Please do this, guys. It's so fucking helpful. Codemeister, this isn't a big deduction because he only does it this one time and you can't hear it that much over the beat. But, it's just so fucking bad that, it has to be mentioned. I'll play it right now. I'll even make it louder for you. What the fuck are you doing? I know this is supposed to be a vocal fry, like an inward vocal fry. That's what it sounds like this is supposed to be. But it's not. You're not doing it right. And I know you're not because listen to it. Hold up. Why you do this? Hearing this in the project, it shocked me to such extents to where I had to bring it up. This doesn't really dock anything as it's only in the beatbox for 4 seconds, but it doesn't sound good. And the big reason why that this is actually being mentioned, and I definitely did talk a point for it, by the way. The big reason I went that harsh on this like one fucking moment is because this first chorus is already flawed with the vocals. Like I said, it's filled. So the first chorus removes a lot of layers from the other choruses, but it leaves all the awkward sounding ones. So like it just doesn't really sound all that complete. And the singing that we do have with the layers he kept is just not that great. It's weak and awkward, and the octaves are weird. But yeah. Point is, it's already flawed chorus, and he puts the worst beatboxing that he's ever done in it as well. And I don't know, bro. I just couldn't get behind it. I had to mention it. Anyway, as for usage, this is where things get kind of questionable. The only thing here is just that it's very underprepared. Code does manage to stay on beat and uses tongue bass at the best times that he can, which it does a pretty good amount for the solo. But everything else is really just Code spamming his combos without real thought behind it, and that's really about all that goes for this part. However, it is worth to note that the beatboxing, even with this, it doesn't sound bad over everything. It still works to an extent. It just sounds really random at parts, which isn't. It's not good. That's not a good thing. It's not. But, like, it could have been a lot worse. It still sounds acceptable. It's fine. Anyway, overall, Code is just decent at everything with his beatboxing. He isn't great at his beatboxing, and he's not great at using it either, but it works. So, I put this above the middle, mostly saved by his technicality. Anyway, flow. 15 out of 20. This, in my eyes, is mostly positive, but flawed, which is... It seems to be the trend for every category so far. Firstly, this beatbox, as said, makes a rap and singing, have been singing in the chorus and rapping in the verses. So the singing is pretty consistent and smooth. I don't have any problems with it. Good work. That's perfect. So the rapping is pretty mixed. I do lean more positively to it. The flow here is completely original, which is a major plus, and the flow is pretty impressive as well. It's mostly straightforward, but performed cleanly with quick rapping. There's also a few segments that feature more precise timings, which is nice. This lasts for each verse and doesn't feature any slip-ups, which is great. So why did it only score 15? Well, that's because this doesn't mean it's flawless. The main issue is within the layers, being that they're delivered inconsistently. This isn't that bad, as it still decently syncs up. It's just that in some layers, Code may rap too fast or too slow and slightly break off from the main layer. So this isn't the worst because he is still on beat in this layer. That is important to note. However, he's going faster or slower at some points than in the main vocal. So even though it's on beat technically, it doesn't match up all the way with the main vocal. So you can kind of hear them both. They don't mash together when this happens, is what I mean. And it's a problem. It is pretty noticeable at a good amount of times. So anyways, this ended up deducting like 2 points, I want to say. Because like, again, it's not the worst, but like, it's a problem. You don't want that to be in your solo. It hurts it a lot. But anyway, overall, consistently good, clean, precise, and original. But the layering, the flaw in the layering, it hurts. Anyway, that's it for Codemeister. 0 and other. Zilch. 52 out of 80. High C. We got another C tier. Highlander. So, a lot of people were telling me that Highlander is too good for Little League. His score does not really reflect that, but to be fair, in the finale, which by the way, I'm fuck you Highlander for winning, because now I have a rejoiner in the finale, and I don't like that. But he did earn it in his defense. Honestly, if you think about it, doesn't really make a big difference. For those who know, he is a debuter because BBP versus Dirtle was a round 1. BBP just didn't drop because he sucks balls, and he was scared of the Dirtle did. But Dirtle was scared of the Code did, so he dropped out, and now we have Highlander. Anyway, vocals 17 out of 20. pretty fucking good. So this is a pretty straightforward category, however, for Highlander, as it's entirely singing, which Highlander is good at. Through the whole beatbox, Highlander shows really impressive notes and good vocal range, and he also has really good pitching, and this is consistent for the entire beatbox in every layer. That's honestly all to say about the raw vocals. He stays singing the whole time, and he doesn't have any flaws with it. So, it's also worth mentioning that he actually sings the whole song an octave higher than the original song. This is the exact opposite of what I said about Code. However, with an octave higher, this worked in Highlander's case. It worked. It did. So the thing is, this doesn't mess up the key at all, which definitely helps it work. It just works a lot better, bro. Singing an octave higher doesn't really matter all that much. If anything, it's impressive, because you're not going away from what the beat is, but like you're adding more to it. But like, it's okay to be higher than the beat, basically, because you're still gonna match up. But if you're lower than the beat, then you're gonna blend in, and it's not gonna sync as well. That's why when Highlander sings higher, it's okay. Yeah, because he pulled it off. It's because he doesn't suck at singing. If you suck at singing and you sing a higher octave, it's probably not gonna work. That's why it didn't work for Code. Because lower is just worse. Anyway, that was a very bad explanation of why, but like it's hard to explain. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I hope. Anyways. So anyway, this is very impressive vocal work, and it perfectly shows off his vocal range. This is pretty I said this already, but I put it in the doc here. This is pretty much the exact opposite of how I felt about Code. Anyway, as for layering, it's fucking weird. So all of the layers are just shit. I might just go back into the project, honestly. So the layering here is very weird. This is his main vocal, right? Anyway, so this right here is just, I don't fully remember. Just a nice higher little vocal. Just an octave switch. That's pretty good. This one is the low one, I think. Right. So that's fine. Those aren't like crazy harmonies. They're just octave switches. But that's good. That is what you need. So that is good work from him. Where things get weird, however, is, hold up. I'll show you. It's the use of duet. Clearly does not sound very good. So this is modern rap. This is robot. And this is simulacrum, which I've never even heard someone use. So that's not a good thing. Typically, these effects just don't sound good, and it would have been so much better if Highlander just did these himself. If he just did more layers naturally by himself. But why did I still give him a good score? When you put it all together, it sounds fine. It really does. And if you put on, it's obviously better with the beat over it as well. They're quiet enough to where you can still hear them, but you don't hear the jankiness of it. So it comes together. It honestly does come together. It really does. I think it sounds empty without it. And while I do think it would have been so much better if he just recorded natural harmonies himself, this still needs these harmonies in some way. So even if his way of getting even if Highlander's way of getting these kinda sucked, he still got them and it still helped. So I didn't deduct for this. I didn't give him a deduction for it. Obviously some people might think that he would, like fucking Ledge probably. Like some people will probably be like, that is ass. You gotta deduct about like 5 for that. Which, you're not crazy for saying that. This one is really hard to rank because it's kind of subjective, I'll be honest. But the way I viewed it was, I think it still added to it. So I'm not deducting for it. I still think it provided what it needed to and it worked out. But I'm not giving points for it either. That's the thing. Because he really should have he really should have just done it himself, and it would have been much better. So it's just kind of there, to be honest. It's just there. So that's how I feel about that, and that is important to notice. Even if it didn't end up messing with the score all that much, if at all, it's still important to notice. Anyways, another note is the mixing. Most of it's pretty good. It's just I think the EQ on the main vocals, it could have been better. Anyway, that's honestly about it. Highlander's just a really good singer, but there's more to be desired. And that's about it. Oh shit, my friend's here. I'll be right back. Come here, everybody. Trevor, come here. So I'm not streaming, but everybody, this is Trevor. This is my friend. Mason, that's my editor. Mason, keep Trevor in this. I'm probably gonna just finish this tomorrow. But Trevor, he can stay in this frame. He can be in the video.
It's me, guys.
Trevor, you remember that song I showed you, like from the guy from Mihal, the dude who was like, "It's tearing up your heart." This is for that. This is how I judge all of them. I was reading them all off, basically. And there's nothing funny about that.
Oh, fuck.
That's exactly what happened. I knew it was coming. What I didn't know, so like this dude, he lives like fucking maybe it's like a 40-minute walk from where. It's a 2-hour walk from his house to here. And that's where I thought he was. But it turns out he's at the Dairy Queen that's like 10 fucking minutes from my house. So when I told him to, I was like, you can start walking. I was like, yeah, I got time. In my defense, I almost finished.
No, you're all that I want inside. I imagine we fell in love on the butter moonlight skies with you.
Welcome back, everybody. I mean, it's the same video. Nothing's different for you guys, but I'm back. Happy Halloween. It's Halloween right now, where I am. Might be Halloween for you guys. I don't know. This might post today. Maybe. I don't know. We're gonna go to lyrics, which is a 4 out of 10. A fucking 4. So, yeah, these lyrics suck. They're not good. Firstly, these are some of the worst roasts that I think you can have on Code. Especially because Code is very easy to roast. He has a pretty good amount of solid roast on him. And, like, and they're all good roasts, too. Like, he's roastable, point is. Despite this, almost all of Highlander's roasts just come from other beatboxes. Worst of all, the main beatbox these are taken from is Pichu's, which is Code's opponent in the previous round. Like, what the fuck? Pretty much all of the harder hitting roast in this episode in this beatbox come from Pichu round 1. And they're almost even written the same way as well, especially the flick line. They're like, flick went from leaking you to leaking on your face. That's like almost word for word what Pichu says. And what sucks is not only is this the case, but like the amount of original roasts that Highlander did have, which is not very many, aren't even very good. They're just random ass Discord screenshots of just code. Whether it's him just responding to someone with like a meme or just someone telling him to shut up. So like not only are these weak and some of the only roasts that weren't just taken from another beatbox, but these are extremely typical roasts that basically anyone who's fought Code uses. Even if the examples are slightly different, it's the same fucking thing. So there's no positive examples of roasts in this beatbox and only notable flaws. That's very bad. So, not only are these some of, if not the worst roasts that I have seen on Codemeister. The writing does nothing to make up for it. Matter of fact, the writing only amplifies the problem, as this is another Beatbox and the Attorney where almost all of the writing is just him reading off the roast. So there is little to no wordplay, no real connection between bars, and everything that could have been a positive example for this is just, once again, taken from Pichu. So, overall, these are abysmal. There's nothing else to say. It's just bad in every category, and I don't really have one positive for it. I gave it a 4 because I don't know. It's just a low score. I thought it made sense. He still at least wrote, and there are still lyrics and bars. That's about it. Whether or not they're good, they're still there. So I gave it a 4, I guess. It's better than the blue guy. Beatboxing, 19 out of 20. I should have listened to you, Astro, because Highlander is correct. He is not sucking on his tongue, which is something I used to say that he's doing. I used to hear his like main sounds, and I was like, he's just breathing in his tongue. He's sucking on it weird. That's not what he's doing. Well, I guess technically he is sucking on his tongue, but he's doing it to make click roll. Speaking of that, his sounds that consists of, well, yeah, click roll. Zipper, Dillip Zipper, which is a very nice, it's a special texture of zipper popularized by a beatboxer named Dillip, and he has it. It's not the exact same, but it's still the same sound. Anyway, chest bass and common but strong lip basses. His snares are extremely strong as well. He has inward K snare and PF snare mainly. These are switched in contrast to work best with what combo he's doing at the time. So anyway, speaking of combos from Highlander, extremely fucking technical, some of which I struggled to replicate myself, honestly. Most of the tech Highlander uses, it mostly consists of quick TK combos, shit like that, but like, I mean, it's more complex than that, but like, you know. But he's also got some precise kicks and inward K snare. It's like, so he's got like those double kicks in there. I can't really do it all, but that gives you like kind of a note. Highlander does it better than me. I could just pull up his project, but I don't think this is like that crazy there. Highlander does it better than what I can showcase right now. I don't know. He's just really fucking good at tech. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I find myself most impressed with like the fast double kicks, as I tried to say, stuff like that. But like with like it has more shit in between. I don't know. It's hard shit, bro. I'm sorry. Anyway, Highlander mostly uses that as tech breaks, which is very nice. As for usage, there's not too much to say. It's really just him flowing over the beat. Though he does do this when he's needed to. He only does it when it's needed, which is smart. The chiller parts of the beat feature him just using like a chill drum beat, like a. It's not. He doesn't do that. It's like just a chill drums. But that's all it needs for this part. So I would say as a result, usage is just standard, but it's smart and effective. But in the sound choice works very well for the beatbox as well. So yeah, that's it for the usage. So overall, while Highlander's usage is pretty standard, it works as much as it needs to, and his skill is well above the average of the communities. So even though it's like, I'd say it's a bit above average usage. It's used standardly, but like smart. It's a bit above average, but this is definitely carried by how skillful he is. So yeah, that's a 19 out of 20. Flow, 15 out of 20. There's pretty much nothing I can really say here. It's just an entirely melodic singing flow. So there's nothing too complex at all. The song stays pretty consistent with its flow, and it doesn't switch up much at all. So it's basically just this flow for this whole thing. It's also the exact same as the original song. So the only exception of that is just like 2 lines in the chorus. But that's a very slight change. Overall, it's a smooth, simple, and unoriginal flow. The thing is, I don't think changing any of the flow here would have been all that necessary given the style of the song anyways. So honestly, this is perfectly fine. This is perfectly fine with me. Highlander also had 0 slip-ups or any issues with his flow and replicated the songs perfectly. It's unoriginal, but that's fine. It's simple, but that's fine too. Highlander still delivered everything perfectly in every way he needed to, so he deserves a good score. So obviously there's room for extra points to earn more due to the originality and simplicity, but like still, it's still good and it's still everything it needed to be. You're gonna get a good score. And that's a total of 55 out of 80 and a low B. That's the lowest B you can get. And Highlander is making finale. So yeah, that's about it. That was like 10 minutes, but it was the 10 minutes that we needed. I'm very sorry, Mason. They have to edit 2 separate things. Anyway, see you guys.